Arthritis, vertigo, and migraines all gone. Today I'm talking to Caroline. Caroline has suffered pain all her life and is finally healing on the carnivore diet. And just before we meet Caroline, do me a massive favor and smash the like button, and also please subscribe. This really helps out the channel and helps me to be another voice out there spreading the word about the carnivore diet. Let's meet Caroline. Caroline, you've been on carnivore for about 6 months now, is that right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And how much weight have you lost in that time?
About 18 pounds,
Oh, wow.
or yeah, about 18 pounds. I'm sorry, that was not really the goal.
Mm,
Um, the initial goal was just really health. I've always had like some stomach issues. When I was just 19 years old, I had my gallbladder removed, and that started a host of stomach problems. And I suffered with that for a long time. I did go to a doctor once. I'm not good at going to doctors. I shouldn't say that, but I'm not. Um, and the doctor gave me a pill to put under my tongue and let it dissolve. And they said that would take it away. And of course, it did not. And, so I started keto to try to relieve some of that. I was having pain probably. I was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome. I was having pain probably twice a week for a long time, and sometimes it would be better, sometimes it would be worse. Um, and when I started keto, um, last year, probably in August or September or October, I felt a lot better, a lot better. It was shocking how much better I felt, although I still had migraine, I still had vertigo, I still had arthritis pain, and my anxiety was still full on. And I'm a pretty anxious person. So I started reading the back of the products I was eating, and I was in shock. I kept looking at people who were keto. I found Dr. Berry around that time, and he was talking about carnivore, and I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, I think I can do this. So I tried it a couple times late last year, and I just kept going off of it. And finally, in late December, I was thinking about doing it January 1st, and I'm thinking, why wait until January? I'm ready now, so I'm going to do it now. And it was the benefits came to me so fast. I mean, soon, very soon after, within weeks, my migraine stopped, and I was having two migraines every week, nonstop. I mean, I am 54, I am in menopause, and I thought, oh, that must be just the norm, but I don't, and let me go back. When I was around 20 years old, I became allergic to all antidepressants. Of course, I was trying to be on them. And it, so I have not, that's why I don't go to the doctor. I really believe that. I mean, I've kind of tried to heal myself for a long time with different products. And, my sisters always tell me, you're so in tune with your body. And I am, because I feel it, I feel the pain, I feel the migraines and the arthritis and, whatever. And so anyway, so once I went on carnivore, I immediately the migraines went away. The arthritis pain started to go away, and I was in shock. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I've had no vertigo. I was having that, at least twice a year. Um, I, I, lost my IBS. My stomach is so much better now. My anxiety is way less. And something that I just started this week is I cut out dairy completely. And I already am showing improvement by doing that. So I'm just thrilled with, you know, this way of life. And, I have to say that, I hear a lot of people online saying that, oh, it must be expensive. And I've had my friends say it must be expensive. I'm like, not really. I mean, I don't buy junk food. I don't spend money on chips, on cookies, on anything like that. So all I'm buying is meat and eggs. And, I must say too that when I went on carnivore, it was very quickly that I lost my taste for chicken and pork and any other meat. So I'm basically eating beef only and eggs. And every once in a while, I'll have some sardines. Of course, they're a little hard to stomach for me, but I do feel like they're a benefit. They have a benefit, you know.
Hmm. So,
So,
that's interesting that you lost your taste for chicken and pork and stuff as well. Um,
hmm
I mean, I kind of can't understand losing the taste for chicken because I never had it in the first place. But
yeah.
but interesting. So, how are you eating at the? Oh, well, actually, let's take a step back. How are you eating before versus how are you eating now? Like, what was your regular diet, and what's the diet now with carnivore?
Oh, with keto, well, I've never been a breakfast eater,
Mhm.
ever. I mean, hardly ever, I should say. Maybe a couple years I did smoothies, like fruit smoothies and water, you know. I've been on, and I used almond milk for a long time. That's why it hit me that it might be dairy that's hurting my stomach a little bit. So that's why I'm giving up dairy. But so before I was, eating, when I was keto, I was eating, so no breakfast. I would eat lunch and I would usually like have a hamburger for lunch or something or a keto bar or something like that. For dinner, I would just make dinner and I would have whatever. I'd try to keep it healthy with vegetables and meat, and um, you know, I would eat that, and it was just like that day in and day out. And then when I went carnivore, I started to just eat burgers at lunchtime, and then for dinner, I'll either eat a steak, a ribeye steak, because I heard that they were the best, and they certainly are to my palate. Or I cook up ground beef and add eggs to that, and I find that very good. Um, and I have recently watched some The Ketogenic Woman and Lisa Wiedemann. I look at their channels, and I mean, there's many others that I've watched, and I've learned that you can make like egg white wraps with just egg white and um, gelatin, beef gelatin. So I'm like, I'm happy about that. I might try that sometime soon. And because I think, just egg whites and beef gelatin, I don't know that you can go wrong. So I'm going to be trying some new recipes.
Nice. A question about the arthritis. Where did you have the arthritis?
Oh, I had it just a little in my left knee, but I've had sciatica for a very long time. And I had x-rays, and I have some discs that are a little funky in the back. And I or last year, I was helping someone, a friend of mine, move something, and I wrenched my back. And I was in pain. I had to take off of work a day. I and I'm a teacher. I went and got X-rays. It was so painful. Like a friend brought me a lift chair because I could not even stand up on my own. It was horrible. And I got X-rays done, and they showed arthritis in my hip and in my back, in my right hip and in my back. And yeah, so that was amazing. I did slip up on this diet over Valentine's Day. I am a recovering alcoholic, and I've recently realized that, of course, I'm addicted to sugar. Alcohol is sugar, and in the school system, we have Valentine parties, we have parties for everything, and of course, and then it's just amazing how I ate some candy that led me to eat something that was at the house. My fiance is not carnivore, refuses to be carnivore, um, but that's okay. Anyway, I ate something of his that was in the house, a snack bar or something, and the next day, the arthritis in my hips came back. I mean, so bad that I was in incredible pain, more than I have been with it before, and I was in shock. I was in shock that that's all it took. And so, that has just made me decide, I cannot go off this diet. I'd be foolish to go off the diet again.
Mm.
And that symptom came back so incredibly fast.
It's
And I,
it's crazy to think how quickly your body reacts to that. I mean, of course it does. I mean, they're poisons, right? But you just, it's marketed as food, so you just think, wow, my
yes,
body's not going to react that fast.
hmm
Mm.
definitely. And I'm not sure if I said that my anxiety really minimized. You know, I just, I'm not sure why I have anxiety. I always have. And I just feel more at ease. But I also have a shocking amount of energy with this diet. I've always been pretty energetic, but I'm over the top now. I started exercising a couple weeks ago, and well, at least probably a month ago, and I feel stronger already. And I'm lifting some weights, and I recently got the a band system that you attach to the wall like a wall anchor. So I'm using those too, and I'm loving it. So I'm
Nice.
super happy with this diet. I think I messaged you that I really want to start a YouTube channel of my own because I wanna to get this message out that, I want more people to get on this diet because it heals you, you know. It's very healing. I did used to fast with the keto diet, and when I first started this, I was eating once a day. And somebody said you shouldn't do that, especially if you're thin on the thin side, because you're going to lose too much weight, and you could, um, you need protein for muscle synthesis. So I'm like, okay, twice a day it is. So I quit doing that.
So you mentioned your fiance, and you
Hmm.
said your fiance is not doing this. So how does home life work? How is that going? Like you're eating at
Well,
different times, you're eating together, and just cooking separately, or how does it work?
Well, I'll cook for him, but
Mm.
I cook it ahead of time. Well, right now I'm in summer, so I'm off work. So I cook it ahead of time, and he doesn't get home till 6:30 or 7 anyway. So I will cook his food ahead of time, put it in the fridge, and then he can have it whenever. I try to eat by 6 o'clock, so that's kind of not working for us. We do share a meal on the weekend, and I was going to breakfast on Sundays, but I just learned that there's we were going to Denny's. That's where his mom and dad and we all go together on Sundays. And I learned that they're using like a powdered egg product.
Yeah.
And every Sunday I'm having stomach problems. And I'm like, I wonder
Wow.
why. Just for 3 weeks now, every Sunday after breakfast, a couple hours after breakfast, I'm in pain. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness, maybe there's dairy in that. I don't know.
Mm.
But I was eating tons of dairy. I was making cottage cheese ice cream and, all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, well, I've got to stop that nonsense.
My experience has been good with dropping the dairy as well. Getting the cheese out
Hmm.
is really, I think in some ways it causes a little bit of even if you're not, you don't have a bad reaction to it. I still think in some people or it still creates some low level inflammation.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And,
So
and quickly in a couple of days, my body has responded in a positive way of doing that.
mm,
And
mm,
I'm blown
nice.
away at the benefits. Yeah.
So 6 months on carnivore.
Hmm.
Um, Migraine's gone, vertigo's gone, arthritis is gone, digestive issues are finished. Yeah, how does that impact you on a day to day basis? Like, what are you doing
Well,
now that you weren't doing 6 months ago?
I just feel so much healthier. I have more energy to walk, to run, I recently started sprinting, and I'm looking for a track. I really don't want to join a gym. I don't want to spend money at a gym, but I'm not a fan of gyms, to be honest. I've joined them before and gone a couple times, and I'm like, it's not for me. So I'm looking for a track to sprint. I've been sprinting in my house, which is kind of crazy. My dog tries to sprint with me, and I run into her. I'm like, no, you have to sit down. But I jump rope sometimes, and then I lift the weight. So yeah, I feel like I need to keep moving keep my bones healthy, and you know, it feels good.
In that 6 months, do you feel like you're more kind of, it's almost like your body wants to move, like you're being compelled to move rather than,
Definitely,
you're not
definitely.
forcing it, right?
Right. And
Mm.
I don't watch TV, so I mean, there was a hockey game on last night, and I did watch that. And my fiance says, oh my gosh, you're watching the game, and I said, yeah, a little bit, but I really don't watch TV. And so when I sit in, I'll sit and talk to Dave for a little while, and all of a sudden, my body says move. I mean, I get up. I have to stand up, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I have to stand," and I'll go do a little exercise or something because it's amazing how my body wants to move. And I'm glad you brought that up.
And I suppose as well, I mean, I had the arthritis in the left knee too. So I suppose now with no arthritis and the back pain and that being better, like it's quite enjoyable to stand up, right? Because you're not like
Oh, it is.
you're not twinging every time you stand up, or moving
It
around.
is. And for a long time, it hurt to sit down. I would
Mm.
be in pain if I sat too long. And, now I don't even think about it. I just want to get up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing. At work, I ordered this contraption to raise my laptop so I don't have to sit when I am at my desk. I mean, I would sometimes, but hardly ever because I have the contraction to lift up my laptop high enough. I had to get two of them because the first one was too short. I'm 5'7.5". So I used to be 5'9". Hopefully I won't keep shrinking now that I'm on this diet. But who knows, gravity might just be in control. But yeah, so I've been, using that at work and standing more, and because I've always heard that was healthier. And so I don't know.
Mm.
So
Oh, wow. Um, so how do family, friends, colleagues react to this? Do they
oh
know or like,
oh they know. I have two sisters and a brother. My brother is 14 years younger than me, and he's of the mindset that whatever works for you.
hmm,
And my sisters are like, you're going to kill yourself. You need to get labs. I'm like, I will, but I want to be on the carnivore diet for like strict for a while. And so I am going to get those labs, but you know, I just want to wait
yeah,
a little bit.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah, and then friends I have some teacher friends who I work with at school, and they notice the weight loss, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm on a carnivore diet," and they're like, really? And I said, yeah. And they're like, isn't that just meat? And I'm like, well, meat and eggs. And, at that time I was eating cheese and things like that. So I talked about that. And I've got comments that I could never do that. I could never give up my Krispy Kreme donuts. I could never give up my, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay.
hmm.
But, that's their choice. And that makes me sad. I just,
I kind of understand that in a way. Like I could never do that. I mean, when I first heard about the carnivore diet, maybe when I was scrolling through Twitter 5 or 6 years ago,
mhm.
and when I saw it, there was some guy talking about having been on it, and he was, really muscular, had his shirt off in a picture on Twitter or something, and and I remember thinking at the time, yeah, sounds great, but I could never do that. It just seems
Right.
too restrictive. But your whole outlook changes once you start doing it, right?
Oh,
You
it
don't
does.
feel like you're restricting at all.
That's right.
Mm.
And it's pretty amazing. I just went to dinner the other day at my I'll just call them my in-laws, and they know I'm on this diet, so they had she had made a cabbage casserole, and she kept some of the ground beef separate for me, and I'm like, oh, I so appreciate you, thank you so much.
That's
And
so sweet.
yeah, so yeah, they're
Oh,
super
nice.
awesome people.
Yeah.
And of course, I've shared with Jean the benefits of the diet and how much it has helped me. So I think she understands. And maybe it's their age. I don't know, but very caring, loving people. So,
Oh, nice.
mhm.
So when um again, you've been on this for 6 months. So when you're at work, um, do you get any comments or funny looks when you're having lunch? Like,
Yeah. Well, I did. I am upstairs with a second grade teacher with me, and we share a refrigerator. So when I started bringing in burgers, she noticed that. And she was coming over to eat with me. She quit coming over to eat with me. And I don't know if it's because I'm eating carnivore and it grossed her out. I don't know. But I mean, I have a regular burger. It's not like raw, it's not all the way cooked, but it's medium.
hmm,
But I don't know. But yeah, she quit eating lunch in my room and never said anything. And then she saw me I was using butter in my coffee, and she saw that, and I just love butter in my coffee. But and that's something that I'm using. That's the only thing non-carnivore that I'm doing is coffee. And I've heard some people say wipe that out, but I'm having a hard time. I'm drinking it black now, which I thought I would never do, but I'm like, I'm okay with it black. I'm
hmm,
definitely addicted to caffeine, so I know that. And I have been for a long time. But
hmm.
probably eventually I will give it up. I just know myself, you know. And I when I put my mind to something, when I hear about it, and it's probably better if you do give it up, and that stevia that I use in it, I probably will. I don't know
Wow.
when, but
So you're on keto for about 3 months, and then you
hmm
went into carnivore.
yes,
Prior to keto, you were basically just doing a standard American diet.
definitely.
Okay.
hmm
So at any stage during the kind of the cut to keto, the cut to carnivore, did you experience any negative side effects?
None whatsoever.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow.
No.
Oh, that's great.
I was worried about it, so I bought into the keto drops, and then I bought the other one that's in the box that they give you the free sample element.
Hmm.
And but I've quit using that completely because I realized I don't need it. And I drink water, and I'm down to 2 cups of coffee in the morning, so that's pretty good, and water the rest of the day. And I just have a goal for myself now to get outside and walk every morning to get that healthy sunshine in my eyes. Oh, you know what else is a benefit is I've always had sensitivity to the sun,
Hmm.
and that sensitivity has lessened or gone away. I noticed that when I was at school, I can walk into school with this, and we have a late school opening. Of course, I get there early anyway, but I would walk in and I started taking my sunglasses off. And I was like, okay. I mean, that would give me a migraine before.
Hmm.
The sun, I always thought it was the sun that gave me the migraine, but evidently it's not because I can be in that sun and be fine now.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. I
Yeah.
find that amazing too.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
hmm
So you mentioned as well that your teeth are now whiter.
They are. And, I've used like Crest white strips for years. I was a smoker for a long time. I quit smoking like maybe 7 years ago. And, I've just tried so hard to whiten my teeth with those white strips, with different toothpaste, now I make my own toothpaste.
Oh, wow.
I, I, and about, I don't know, a couple months on here, I just noticed my teeth are whiter. They're definitely whiter. And so that's an awesome benefit I forgot about. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
There's so
wow.
many benefits. I wrote them down, but I forgot that one. Yeah. I'm like, it's amazing.
As you were talking, you reminded me of something else I wanted to ask you about. If you don't mind, can you talk a little bit about the alcohol? Um,
Sure.
where when did you give the alcohol away?
2007.
2007. Oh, wow.
hmm Yeah. In fact, it
Congratulations.
was,
That's a long time.
thank you. Yeah. It was in June of 2007, June 21st, actually.
Oh,
And
wow. Anniversary
it
coming
was
up.
hard. It was a hard road, but but I was able to, thank goodness, one day at a time, which you probably heard from other people before. I was able to do it. So
Ah, very
thank goodness.
nice.
Yeah.
The migraines and that kind of thing, that in any way related? Do you think that was related in some way to, you mentioned menopause? Do what
I
kind
think
of
it's, I think having two a week was probably related to menopause. I mean, I would have them at least, I was getting them probably once a week before that.
hmm,
And I got prescription medicine one time years ago, and it definitely worked, but I don't like to take prescription because I couldn't for so long. So I'm not a fan of that. And
hmm.
of course, I've been tested for I've told you I'm allergic to every antibiotic. My dad was as well, but I was tested for I can now take penicillin. My sister urged me desperately to, please, you're getting older, you need to see if you can take any antibiotic. And I found out from the allergist that penicillin is the only one they can test. But she said most people lose allergies within 7 years. So maybe I could take others, but I won't, hopefully penicillin will do it.
Are there any other things related to the menopause that you think may have, calmed down a little bit since you've been on carnivore, or maybe
Well,
resolved?
well, yes, I no longer have sweats, hot sweats. So, I mean, I was having those usually sometimes in bed, but more likely during the day. Even a cup of coffee would set off a hot flash. I should
Hmm.
call them hot flash, which would sometimes call sweating. Um, and now that doesn't happen at all.
Oh, nice.
So I wasn't sure if that was just where I am in menopause, or I don't know. Maybe it probably is a benefit of it probably is.
Hmm.
I never thought
Well,
about that. Huh.
let's give the point to carnivore anyway. We'll chalk
I
that up on the
will
board for
definitely,
carnivore.
definitely.
Nice. So is this it for you now? Is this, you can't ever see yourself going back to a less kind of carnivore diet?
No, I really can't. I think my body will dictate that to me and tell me no, like it did in the
Mm,
past. I find that the benefit is too great for me, for my body. I think I was probably meant to eat meat. And I just wish I would have found it years ago. I really
mm,
do. And
yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of people in my life say, you just eat, you can eat anything, just control yourself and eat the right amount of it. I'm like, I can't do that.
I
I
know that
can't do it.
feeling. I know that feeling
Mhm.
well. If a friend was talking to you about the carnivore diet and they wanted to give it a go, what kind of things would you recommend to them?
Well, I did have actually, there was a substitute teacher at school who overheard me say that I was a carnivore that day that the teachers asked about it. And she said, "Oh, I'm really interested in maybe going keto or carnivore." And so what I did was I got her email and I sent her the link to Dr. Barry's. He was the first one I found. So I sent her the link to Dr. Barry. I sent her, I talked to her about how, you know, in keto, you can eat vegetables and meat. And people have had a wide success on that, on that. I said, I'm carnivore because my body is healing on carnivore. Like it's healed, and I went through some things that it healed. She's like, oh my gosh. And but I haven't heard back from her. So I don't know if she gave it up. I haven't heard anything from her.
Yeah, I've had some friends like that. They ask you about it and then you never hear back from them. And I always think, is it because they're just quietly trying it on their own, or is it because they've kind of, they're nodding and backing away slowly because they think, what?
Right.
This is sounds crazy. But yeah,
Hmm.
you can only give the honest information to them and then kind of wish them luck, right?
That's right. And
Mm,
and I know that the addiction is real for people. The
mm.
addiction to, and it's everywhere. It's on TV. It's it's on poster boards. Alcohol, Krispy Kreme, whatever. It's everywhere. And when you go in your grocery store, like I've done the perimeter for a long time, but now I'm straight to the meat department. It's funny. But I actually order my groceries now because
Mm,
that keeps me out of the stores. And I think
mm,
that's a good thing for me. So I'll pick up at Sam's Club or have it delivered, or I go to Walmart and or delivery from Walmart or Instacart, wherever,
yeah.
because yeah, it's just better that way.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably especially important if someone for someone who's just getting started as well, because then they can just avoid any temptation at all, right?
Definitely.
Mm.
Definitely. In some stores, I think they figured it out that people walk the perimeter. So now they put the junk food on the perimeter. I've noticed that.
So is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that maybe we didn't cover, Caroline?
I feel like we covered everything. I'm just, again, I want to say that I will never go off this diet ever.
Mm,
Nothing can convince me that it's not good for my body because my body has told me that it's good. It's the
mm.
best. And I just, I'm so happy that I found you. I found, the other people on who are all about carnivore and being healthy on YouTube. And I'm just so grateful that I have finally found a way to eat that doesn't hurt me. You know, it's amazing.
Those are really really important words that people should hear. They really are. Please get in contact with me if you do set up the YouTube channel, and I'll
I
add a
definitely
link.
will.
I'll add a link
Oh,
into this video
fantastic.
for you.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for having me on. This has been a fantastic discussion.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.